Well, and the one thing you haven't even touched on, particularly the division that is stinking, like that is NFL's baby. If they have a favorite, they might not actually say it, but their favorite is the NFC East.
That's why they put the Cowboys, who are in Texas, in the East, because they wanted that's their division. You nailed it. Absolutely.
Yeah. You have all the major markets. You have New York,
the money.
You have DC metropolitan area. You have Philly, and you have all of Texas.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah. Well. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, it would be nice sentimentally for Ron Rivera after this crazy year that he's been dealing with his own issues and plus dealing with quarterback craziness, COVID. And I mean, what more can they do, to the man in one season?
And they might win a game in the playoffs. Who knows?
They could. I mean, their defense, with how great their front seven is, their defense can win a game by themselves. So.
Yeah. Chase Young, man, he's impressive.
Yeah. Their first round pick, I believe a year ago, Montez Sweat has really kind of shown out too. So, and Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, like I said, they have a multitude of guys that are just ready to eat. One other game.
Yes.
Quick hits on some other games.
Please.
Bengals Texans was probably the worst tackling game I have seen in a long time. Samaje Perine looked like Earl Campbell, and David Johnson looked like Marcus Allen. So
Earl Campbell.
Yes. Bucks Lions, I will say they're already injured, and just some bad, team roster construction. But to have almost all their coaching staff out because of COVID, it was just pathetic that they even had that game played. Yep. It was just, Tom Brady got to pad his stats along with Evans. Real quick, I was going to say, Alvin Kamara, thank you so much for people who had you in fantasy.
They should have made book.
The craziest thing is, and this is funny, I know we hit on this every time. You know how Sean Payton is a stickler for all these weird, bizarre records, given his players?
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara tied it for 6 rushing touchdowns. But he is so enamored with his adopted son, Taysom Hill.
Right.
Taysom Hill ran for a rushing touchdown. He could have gave it to Kamara.
Absolutely.
Kamara could have the record.
Yep.
That's how much he loves Taysom Hill. He loves records that he gets to be a part of. He gave that up so Taysom Hill could pad his stats.
Mr. Hill on one. Mr. Hill. You're right.
I will mention finally Baltimore being on the outside, probably.
No,
but
actually they've leapt over the Colts.
Yeah,
Colts are outside.
Colts are outside.
Okay, well,
they're bubbled out.
I'm glad for Lamar. So, and after that one game where he went out, where his muscles were all spasmed up, and he went and whatever they shot him up with, and comes back and
Gatorade.
took him. He deserves a shot in the playoffs.
The last month, he went through a weird stretch where he didn't look like the player he was. He ran for, he passed for 183, had 2 TDs, 80 yards rushing against the Giants. They ran for 249 yards, which has been their recipe the last 2 years. And the main thing is their defense is starting to get healthy. So I agree with you. They're a dangerous team that's kind of being slept on.
Yeah. I got to say, you have to say this, it's going to be a very exciting playoff season, maybe one of the more exciting and unexpected ones we've had in a few years.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of off sort of script kind of games that could possibly set up here.
And some new emerging stars.
Yeah. But I don't think Pittsburgh's going anywhere. They're okay for the first game probably, but they're not going to. Roethlisberger, although in the second half he did look good, he came back, but it was kind of strange how the Colts defense, which is a pretty good defense, kind of folded. So anyway, it'll be interesting for the playoffs for sure.
All right, is that about it for today?
The only other guy I want to give a shout out to is for the Bears, Roquan Smith, linebacker, who first 2 years showed flashes, but you didn't know if he was going to be another Ryan Pace first-round disappointment. Balling out this year. He had the game against the Jaguars, had 8 tackles, 2 INTs, has 97 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 INTs for the year. I mean, awesome. I'm just happy for him. So
salute to Roquan Smith. Yes, sir. All right, this has been Sports and Other Stuff. We're sponsored in part by First National Bank. With the convenient drive-through, come as you are, bank from your car. When you go through there and you kind of weave around those pylons, you'll see a guy named
Fish.
Yeah.
And for the new year, Fish is giving out Bitcoin. So come on down if you love the Bitcoin, because one NFL player now is getting his some of his salary in Bitcoin. So there you are.
Fish has Bitcoin. Wow, who'd have thought that? Whew. We are the Sport Weasels, first in sound, first in service, first in sports, and home of millions throughout mid-America. Until next time, so long, everybody.